What's up, YouTube? It's time to do part 2 to Sarnetta's Dr. Frankenstein and Polite is his monster. It's part 2 time. That video and this particular discussion is of paramount here on Sarnetta Week, because whether Polite wants to accept it or not, Sarnetta is his maker. And I know he'll arrogantly deny this shit because that's him. But we all know, using common sense, reasoning, logic, and the fact that we never heard shit about no motherfucking brother Polite until Sarnetta. We watched this dude evolve on Sarnetta. We didn't watch him evolve on I Am Brother Polite. He evolved into who he is on Sarnetta's channel. We watched him go from some brother talking about aliens and space this and all this, which I'm into, so I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying this is what he's talking about. We're watching you come into the community, and these are the things that you're talking about. Then it switches from that once he starts getting ragged on about Malachi York, he slowly stopped talking about those things. He still talked about them, but nowhere near heavy. Do y'all remember what came next in the evolution of Polite on Sarnetta's channel? I'm going to give y'all 3 seconds before I say it so y'all can guess, and if you guess right, you guess right. What did he start talking about next? Black woman is God. Because at that time, the only person who was really saying that shit was Natural Tahuti on Sarnetta's network. This is what we're talking about. I'm not talking about everywhere else in the planet and shit like that. I'm talking about niggas that had somewhat of a platform where a lot of people were reached by them, and who was saying these things at that time? Natural Tahuti. One of the things that pissed me off, like I said about Tahuti, is that, nigga, you know you got a lot of that shit from watching the Woman Lecture by Delbert Blair. Damn near everybody did. So, like, how you never spoke about that man and just kept on, like, you came out of nowhere with this new creation called The Black Woman is God. I didn't like that, because that be that capitalizing shit. But anyway, that's before we knew how Sarnetta's page and how motherfuckers that come around and really, really operate. And I'm not saying nothing negative about you, Tahuti. I don't know shit about you. It was just, that's my own personal opinion on that shit. But anyways, yeah, we watched him evolve from talking about space and how and not talking about no motherfucking just no sun, and how the sun brings the light and the rays and it hits the endorphins, and nah, nigga, you was talking about beings and all that other shit. So stop that bullshit. Now, and you said it out your own mouth, so don't get mad that we repeat things that you say. It's our prerogative. Now, he evolved to The Black Woman is God, where he currently still resides. Polite's whole mission now mainly is, that's what he says, because it started getting him play. And once that shit started getting him play with women, we see what happened to the ugly man complex. When a guy has an ugly man complex, when he doesn't have women that like give him compliments and that hit on him and things of that nature, that's how they react, G. And I'm not saying it like I'm some muscular, pretty boy ass nigga, but like I said, I never had problems getting women and them being attracted to me without me having to buy them things. What the fuck? But anyways, yeah, that ugly man complex shining through and through. And so basically where I'm at right now is Sarnetta's TV, you allow this dude to evolve ultimately into what he is now. Whatever that is. your platform was the platform and the way for Polite to express himself, to lie, which is what expressing himself really ultimately is a bunch of lies and fraud. And so now that that's said, I want to actually get into that. Because no one's actually getting into that. No one's getting into the fact that young Pharaoh is the one who actually broke all of this. And it seems like now that you is hurrying up and making sure Pharaoh got his money back from Polite and all that, so Pharaoh wouldn't make a big deal about it, because even at that time, Pharaoh had a small following. So that's what it seems like you was doing, man. You was just trying to protect your new cash cow, which was Polite. And the mistake that was made was that Polite even tricked you. He even tricked you into thinking, Sonetta, he tricked you and made you think that he had more bread than he actually had, G. That's why you was mad about that shit. You was mad that you was trying to get this van, and I'm going to explain to y'all what he's thinking. In his head, Sonetta thinks in his mind, he's like, damn, I'm doing good. I'm $100 grand nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get this new car. I'm about to do this. Like, $100 grand niggas could do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They could accumulate a lot of stuff and make you think, that would make you think that they're richer or have more money than they actually got. You know what I mean? So that's how that shit works. So, like, basically, that's how that shit works. You know what I'm saying? And so when you was, basically what Sonetta was doing was, he was actually thinking that Polite had more than he really fucking had. And the fact that you didn't have more than you had, that Polite didn't have more than what Sonetta had, and that confusion that Polite didn't explain to him, yo, bro, I'm just fronting, G. I don't really have this Bugatti, or I don't really have this Bentley. Like, you fucking up, G. You fucking up by getting mad at me and shit and assuming that I'm shitting on you. I just don't have, like, the Polite just ain't come out and say that shit. That was the problem. If they had worked that shit out behind the scenes, we would have never known about that shit. But Sonetta's in his feeling, because he feeling like he $100 grand nigga and Polite's a millionaire. So, like, damn, this nigga, he's my nigga. I made you. Polite could deny that shit all he want, G. Sonetta knows he made him. I know you made him too. That's why I was like, you gotta take credit for your fucking creation and your monster. And stop trying to carry on talking about some house of consciousness and all that. Nah, nigga, the same shit I say about Polite is the same shit I'm gonna say about your old ass. Nigga, ain't no moving on until you address a few things. You need to address, and not by a panel of your choosing. You need to address why the fuck you got mad at Pharaoh and pulled all them snake-ass white man bullshit moves on Massetti when that debate shit. Ain't nobody, when I start doing them videos, which will probably be later today, like, nigga, I'm going in on that shit. Ain't no not focusing on that. Second, but before we even get to that shit, we need to know, why were you aiding and abetting this nigga Polite throughout this whole transaction of him being the, what's the three faces of Polite? You know what I'm saying? The scholar, the hustler / businessman, and the gangster. Because that's you, G. That's you 100% all the way around the board. You edited all those videos and created this phenom. And he's young. Don't forget he's young, guys. He who protests too much, boy. But yeah, like, yo, you pushed this dude. You edited all them videos. You made this dude into this creation. Now that you made him into this creation, and this is what we find out what he is, you taking fucking responsibility for that shit. And not that fake shit that you'll do set up by your own self. You're going to take responsibility the way that we want you to take responsibility for that shit. And that starts with openly admitting that you had heard and or known for years, because you were around him for years, that he was scamming. And you was probably hearing that shit, that people weren't getting that shit from day fucking one.